Alrighty, so here's the photosynthesis lab. I'm gonna be honest, I am really struggling on photosynthesis. It's something that I thought I knew, but I was definitely way wrong. So I'm going to try my best to explain this. Okay, so I don't actually want to start here. Okay. So this is basically how the light reactions and the Calvin cycle are, how they go together, basically. They both occur in the chloroplast, but the Calvin cycle occurs in the stroma, and light reactions occur in the thalcaloid membranes. And the thalcaloid membrane is where the chlorophyll is, and that's where the reaction center for chlorophyll A is. H2O turns to O2 in photosystem 2, and then to photosystem 1. There's also NADP to NAPH. I did this one first, so it's a little bit wonky. The thalcaloid membrane, goes to the thalcaloid space. Like, it goes in order. So the chloroplast is the bigger organelle, and then inside there's the stroma, the fluid part, and then the thalcaloid membrane, and then the thalcaloid space within the thalcaloid itself. And then light reactions are more light photons, but also water and CO2 to ADP and NAPH. And then the Calvin cycle is more ATP and NAPH to G3P. So they're kind of opposites. So this is the light systems. Photosystem 2, it starts out as photosystem 2, goes light, and then the light photons are absorbed by the chlorophyll, and then that energy goes to the reaction center, and then from there it goes to chlorophyll A in the reaction center, which donates electrons, and then to the electron transport chain that goes, which is plastocyanin and plastoquinoin, and then to the thalcaloid membrane, and then the electrons move, and the protons go across the thalcaloid space, and chemosis is where all that occurs. That's where that whole system happens. And then ATP synase, it goes from there to ATP synase. Then ATP synase is basically the end of it. Like, ATP is the end of it, because that's what they want to do. That's the end goal, is to create ATP. But then also in the chlorophyll A, you have the photosystem 1, and that's where the electrons go to the ferredoxin and the NADH reactase. And then from there you get NADP plus to NADP-PH. And yeah, that's kind of the end of that one. But then it goes, the water is split. The water is split, and from the water you just get the O2, and that replenishes the electrons, and it keeps the light reaction going, basically. And then the Calvin cycle, okay, so it occurs in the stroma, and then it gets the carbon fix, and that's where the CO2 binds to the rubisco, or it binds to the RUBP with rubisco's help. These are really hard words to say, by the way, so I'm just kind of trying to keep them short. And then the CO2, and then you get 3 PGAs, or you get 2 3 PGAs, and that's from the carbon split the 6 carbon molecules that's split into two 3-carbon molecules. And then that goes to the reduction phase. And that's 3 PGAs converted to G3P. And then you also get from the light reactions, there's the ATP plus and it's ATP and the NADPH. And then those two go together and you get the G3P. And then there's the carbon formation, or carbohydrate formation. So that's where the G3P is turned into the glucose. And then you also have entering it ATP energy from the light reactions again. And then you still have the G3P. And then it goes to the regeneration phase. So the G3P and the ATP used to make RUBP. And then the RUBP is back in the cycle again, and that's when it starts over and goes back to the carbon fixation. So that's photosynthesis.